I'll give them, instead of giving them at cars at 16, I'm gonna give them business. You get a hot dog stand, you get a hot dog stand. Or you get a
Mm-hmm.
pizza stand, you get a burger stand. When my
Mm-hmm.
sons are 16, they getting business. We're gonna jump them right into understanding how to create their own wealth. Right. That way when they're 16, 17, they don't have to go to a job they don't like. They can hate their own business. If they're smart enough, and I'll teach them how to delegate, they can find a little boy who need a job and they can make the money while their
Yeah.
classmates works for their pizza stand.
What's going on, family? Welcome to another episode of the Fatherhood Village Podcast, the official home for proud fathers and mentors. I go by the name of Dale Holloway. You know I'm with the boy, Kev Hick. What's happening with you, man?
Oh man, I'm chilling, brother. No complaints.
Word. Hey, we on to another season, man. This season 2, episode 21. How you feeling, man? We moving along.
I'm feeling good. We ain't quit. That's my goal for everything I do, is just not to quit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm pretty proud that we still at it.
Yeah, it's been fun, man. The first season, like I said, I think a lot of us, I include ourselves, because if we look back and hear the first few episodes, we like, man, we was just trying to figure it out. It don't sound nothing like this episode, but that's the beauty of the growth, the development, man. I think what we're doing is phenomenal. It's great. We're getting a lot of good reception, good feedback, a lot of people sharing and adding to the conversation and enjoying the content. And like I said, it's giving back. We wanted to, thrive and help and put people in a good, mindset and mind state as fathers, as mentors, and continue to drive home these subjects, these topics that we speak of, man. So it's going well, man. It's going really well.
All right, Dale. So before we continue, I want to give a shout out to our sponsors. Let's get checked. Listen, fellas, low testosterone can cause muscle loss, erectile dysfunction, reduced sex drive, fatigue, obesity, and symptoms of depression. So if you're having trouble making gains at the gym, putting it down in the bedroom, maintaining adequate energy levels, staying lean, having mood issues, you could in fact have low testosterone. I can say from experience that Let's Get Checked makes getting tested easy with next day delivery. You just receive your test, send it off, and get your results in 2 to 5 days. Get your testosterone levels checked today at trylgc.com/TFV. Again, that's trylgc.com/TFV. The coupon code TFV gets you 30% off in the checkout. As men and as leaders, we gotta be fully functional out here. The array of home health test kits available from Let's Get Checked makes staying on top of your health easy. So check it out, guys. The link's in the description. Now let's get back into this conversation.
But yeah, man, moving along. This episode for the second season, we starting off with financial literacy. And it's going to be 3 bullets we're going to bring to surface here. One being, what holds us back from financial freedoms? And the second being, what are our current financial habits? And we'll wrap it all up with, what are we teaching our children about money? So to begin this episode with what's holding us back, what's preventing us from achieving this level of success financially. Debt's a big one. It crushes a lot of people's hopes for bigger aspirations and living the quote unquote American dream. Low wages, salaries, people not earning quite enough that they would love or could use, you know what I mean, to do a lot with, especially when it comes to providing more for your family, the life that you desire for you and your kids. Not budgeting, spending frivolously. Um, information that we weren't privy to while we were growing up, maybe because we weren't that interested in money. Our parents didn't really introduce us to things like this early on. Just weren't good with money. It kind of just flowed through our fingers. So yeah, man. So Kev, kind of talk to me about what are some of the experiences that you had maybe with you know having a setback or things that prevented you from climbing that financial ladder.
Well, I think a few things hold us back culturally, but on an individual basis from financial freedom. First, these types of conversations about financial literacy, right? I didn't hear the term financial literacy until I was, well into my adulthood, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that's part of the problem is that it's not a narrative that we have to even deal with or measure as kids, as adolescent young people. We find out that we don't have it one day when we look around and people have outpaced us. So, that's one. Not knowing people who had money, not knowing people who knew how to deal with money, not knowing people who managed their money well. Every adult I know is broke, or at least, as a child, every adult I knew was broke. I've had to create a circle very strategically as an adult of people who, are smarter than me and can guide me, financially and in other ways and have wisdom that I don't have because we realize how stunted some of our experiences are when we just deal in the bubble of maybe our families, our immediate families, or the area that we lived in. So as a people, what holds us back generally is what we see. You can only dream as big and as far and as wide as you've witnessed someone else get to. And we don't dream and we don't know, we don't have knowledge and we don't know what we don't know. So it's a complete ignorance that holds us back the most. That's the most impactful reason and the most heavy reason that we don't have the financial freedom. Sometimes culturally is that bit there's so much ignorance, there's just so much not knowing what we don't know, that
Mm-hmm.
it really creates a handicap for us, to start from the back and not have an idea about how to get to the front. Specifically, what held us back, me, mom not having a whole lot, not having money for college, not even wanting to take a loan out because where would I have met a person who could repay a loan the size that you would need to borrow for college, right?
Mm-hmm.
So even though in theory I could get a job and repay that loan, it just looks like an astronomical amount of money that I would never be able to have access to, let alone pay it to go to school when I don't know those jobs because they don't have those jobs in my area. And I don't know anybody who's getting hired for those jobs because the people I know who do those jobs don't look like me. Right.
Yeah.
So there are a whole lot of institutional things that we're trying to, join. And there are a whole lot of institutions, the work institution, the school institution, the religious institutions, all of these things that we witness and we see and we try to take part in, but we're starting from a handicap. And we don't always know how to insert ourselves in a way that best moves us forward toward our own goals. Because again, as an individual, I didn't know anybody who had money. I didn't know anybody who had degrees. I didn't know anybody who had been where I wanted to go. And not knowing what I don't know, not knowing how I could help myself and where I could find those financial resources, those knowledge resources or wisdom resources, created a huge deficit in my first few steps and the progress I made as an adult early on.
Yeah. Definitely. Yes, sir. Because my mom, I think, so she did pretty good on the basics. She obviously, what a lot of parents teach early on, saving, right? Just put your money away, don't touch it. Um, and I'm like, save, but specifically for what? So she'll kind of reply with, you want to get a house, you want to get a nice car.
Shit you
Um,
didn't care about at the
yeah, or like save for a vacation or something. I was just like, I mean, okay, you kind of buy it a little bit as a kid, like, all right, I mean, that's gonna take a whole lot of saving, but okay, you know. But other than So my mom, she really made a point with real estate. I would give her that. As far as a vehicle for investment, she did say, I believe I was in ninth grade. She said, real estate is something I should look more into as I get older. Buy a duplex, rent the other side out, you live in the other, and that's, potential continuous income to help you pay that property off or whatever. So that I kept in my mind because she was the first one to introduce me to that. I didn't really hear about that from anybody else. So I was like, okay, that seems smart. But other than that, just as far as investments, other than that, as far as investments like stocks, bonds, money markets, saving for retirement, IRA, I didn't, like you said, I didn't hear about financial literacy until I was much older.
Yeah.
And at that time, like you're still not quite right with your money. Cause I know I done fucked off some money. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I done
Right.
had it, spent it on things I can't even remember. I no longer have now, so, and then, like I said, I believe that if you don't learn the basics, the fundamentals early,
Yeah.
that same kid is going to have those same negative habits as they get older. So if they come up on some money, a little life insurance or a settlement, or you just however you get, this lump sum of money, it's good as gone in most cases. You know what I mean? If
Yeah.
it's not managed correctly, you don't have people that's trusted with that money, it's gonna be gone, man. I done seen it, I
Yeah.
done witnessed it. I've done it firsthand,
Yeah.
a couple times. So that taught me some valuable lessons, and it lingers in your mind. Like, man, I'm not gonna do it again. Like, or at least not like that. You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely. I, I've never seen an adult, as a child handle money well. I've never seen one financially sound decision. And, not just shit on my family and the adults in my family, but they know they don't know how to handle no money. If
mhm,
if if a person in my family has $7 in their pocket, that was enough for a pack of cigarettes and a 40 ounce. And they were going to
mhm,
spend that last three damn pennies on the pack of. They would. I've watched them go on the couch for the pack of cigarettes and the 40 ounce. Right, there wasn't
mhm,
even no saving. You got the whole save your money, save your money. Everybody says that, but then she backed it up and fortified it with like, all right, now this is what you do with the money.
mhm,
They would say save your money, but I never even witnessed that. So I was saving my money just so I would have it for buying toys or candy or something like that. So even though I was saving my money, I was saving as a consumer because all I seen was consumption, right? We're first
yeah,
trained to be consumers. The biggest barrier to our financial freedom is us being trained as consumers instead of producers.
right,
And if you're in a consumer society and you are a big consumer, you are the average of the people around you. And whether or not you're consuming drugs, alcohol, or candy, you still spend all your money, the last little bit of money you get on consuming because that's what you think money is for. You don't understand that money is an investment for the future. Money fortifies your future. Money helps your life experience and your life quality of life. Like, you don't get the real value of what money can do for you, especially when you start talking about looking forward to being a father and all of these things. As a young man, all you see is people spending every dollar that they get and then asking you
mhm,
for a few dollars as a child. Hell, I was loaning out money as a child when I did have a couple of dollars. I remember, certain family members coming up to me, hey, can I get that $2? Adults, you know what I'm saying? I've,
yeah,
I've lent adults $2 as a child more
yeah.
times than
Same
I would like
here.
to remember.
Yeah,
So it just wasn't a thing that was taught, and culturally, it's not a thing that's taught, and I think that needs to become a part of, if not the school system, excuse me, and I think that needs to become part of, if not the school system, our personal culture. Just like we have the police talk, we need to be having the finance talk, and not just save your money for some nondescript rainy day, but no, save your money so that when you're old enough to have an investment account, you can put your money in this investment account, and you can get some paper assets, and you can take advantage of your youth and compound interest. Right?
mhm,
Save your money because you can retire at 45 instead of 65 if you do it right. Save
yeah,
your money because you can buy your first house at 30 with almost no help from the bank, right? Save your money
Mm,
if you want the type of life you see these rappers and entertainers living. Like you can have that if you do right with your money, and don't just save your money, but save it and then make your money work for it. Make your money do flips. You know what I'm saying? Like there's some other
yeah,
things that you can do, and uh not to get ahead of our point, but it's definitely culturally going to have to be addressed, where just like we talk about the police, just like we talk about racism, and train our families up and about their awareness of things that's going on around them, we have to train that financial awareness into them.
right, right. Yeah, that's you brought up a good point, and the idea of the culture and what's being put in front of our children, or at least being displayed, disseminated, mass media wise. The hip hop videos, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Was the imagery there, and just there's no self discipline with money in them videos.
Nah,
You
they
know what I
throw.
mean? Oh, yeah, they throwing it. They in the strip club, like this everything
Yeah,
we do not need to expose
yeah,
our children to. That's all they doing. They got the money
yeah.
here, on they face like it's a phone. Um, spending money on all these lavish items and luxury items and jewelry, cars,
Just
and then
buffoonery.
yeah, and it's like it's not teaching them. They're they're glorifying money, okay, but what is that money helping them do? What is it? How are they using it
Bang
as a tool?
strippers, bang
Yeah.
video vixens
So now they
between
need
months.
they need a wad of cash, a bottle of liquor, a nice outfit in a fly car to be accepted into the culture to you know replicate success. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So that's what we had to pull them away from. Like you said, the culture has to change
yeah.
dramatically. So, but yeah, leading into our next subject, which kind of flows right into the direction we're moving. What are our got to make sure I say that right? Current financial habits. What are we doing right now as men, as fathers, as leaders to set the standard, to set forth the guidance that our children need, even at a early age. So what are we displaying as men right now? I'm gonna start with you, Kev.
I think the one very consistent habit I have now, because I realize how ignorant I have been in previous years, was, I've made studying money, finance, and wealth kind of a full time hobby. I want my sons to see me, studying money, see me paying attention to the numbers, see me, growing my knowledge on investments and business, and retirement accounts and money management. For the brothers listening, if you don't have a long enough attention span for this conversation, but you're still listening now, if you haven't and you do have money issues, please go pick up the book The Richest Man in Babylon. It's very
Mm,
simple. It gives you a lot of game in a very simple language, but it's a priceless book for a person who doesn't have a financial education base. But with that said, like I said, I've done a lot of reading, a lot of books on finance. Dave Ramsey's Total Money Makeover was a good book. It was real instrumental in getting me off the golf course, out of my brand new car, back into a place where I could control more of my finances. Because at a time many years ago, I got to a place where I was kind of living above my means because I had the
yeah.
money to afford those liabilities, but I didn't realize the difference between an asset and a liability, right?
Right.
Again,
Facts.
financial education, right? Spending all your money on assets and you ain't got $2 to rub together at the end of the month, but you got a brand new
Mm,
car and you're living on hole four of a golf course. Doesn't make any
yeah.
sense, right? But those are the things that you do when you come from nothing and you trying to feel like you made it. You go buy the things that people who made it have, right?
Mm,
Not realizing that they have assets that make money and cash flow and then pay for those liabilities, not the other way around. One of the bigger concepts in the book, The Richest Man in Babylon, that I picked up is make your money make money, right? You always be
hmm.
flipping your money, right? And you don't spend your money's kids, you spend your money's grandkids and great grandkids, metaphorically speaking. So that's investing, paper assets, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, other angel investments, things like that. There
Mm-hmm.
are ways to, once you save your money and you get a lump sum, take it over here and let that money grow. And you can let your money grow at an interest rate far surpassing the natural inflation rate of what
Mm-hmm.
averages out to be about 2%. So if you can get 10% of your money and inflation is 2%, you still make 8% of your money, even though money's inflated 2% every year. Right? There
Mm-hmm.
are ways to multiply your income over time and compound your money. Right.
Yeah.
And as you multiply your money, then you can really make big decisions with it. It's not like, well, can I buy a car with the money? It's like, can I buy a house? Do I want to buy a house? Do I want to buy an income property? What do I want to do with this money? What I want to do for me, personally, is I'm trying to acquire enough money to start buying a few businesses, right? Right.
Mm-hmm.
And we're trying to acquire enough money right now that we want to buy a house and we want to get enough down payment. There are great financial strategies to do that with low or no money down, but I'm very comfortable with the plan we have, but it's because I'm financially responsible. I've grown into a person who's financially responsible, that I have a good chunk of money saved and I'm on pace to make a lot more money and save that, because for the last couple of years, for every dollar I've saved, I've invested a dollar. I didn't get
Okay.
that from no book. That's just my personal rule. For every dollar
Gotcha.
I save, I invest a dollar. So if I make $3, I spend $1, I save $1, and I invest $1. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm keeping two out of every $3 I get. Right. Ultimately, that helps, that rolls your money over because I'm investing money. So my money's making money, and I'm saving money because I need liquid cash. I need cash available. Right. But I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to mess with the investment because the investment compounds. So I just think, not to get too technical. Overall, I've learned to do the things that people who have had money for a long time and held on to wealth for a long time are doing to hold on to their wealth and multiply their wealth. You can read Robert Kiyosaki, The Richest Man in Babylon, The Millionaire Next Door. There are a lot of financial resources for people who want to learn money, who don't want to dig into the specifics and the technicalities of it all, but want to understand the concepts and get excited about something. So, Rich Dad Poor Dad was a great one too to read. So I started there, and then I started trying to apply the concepts of Dave Ramsey and all of these other authors that know about money to my life. And as I've done it, every year I'm richer and richer for it. Not that I'm a rich man, but I'm not broke anymore, and I haven't borrowed $20 in some time. Many years. Yeah, that borrow that gas money. Hey, bro, man, I need some gas. You got $20, man. I haven't had that conversation with nobody in over 10 years. So, you know,
Yeah.
that's because I've been picking them books up and applying those concepts to my life, and that's where we have to start.
Yeah. Exactly. Picking up the game. Reading. I've done that myself. A lot of audio books I've listened to. One being Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Um, that was very, like you said, instrumental to getting the ball rolling, getting the wheels turning, and becoming more financially aware of your situation. Um, but yeah, like it's just you have to introduce that to yourself, and you have to want to achieve more. You got to be sick of doing the same old shit that's gotten you nowhere, no
Mhm.
progress at all. And that's what we had to be about. We had to be about stepping up the game, going further, um, and applying new principles, better principles than when we were growing up.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like myself, I like I said, I used to buy the J's. You know what I mean? When we was first getting out
Hey,
of high
you
school.
you you was fresh. You was
Hey,
fresh.
that was something that was a bad. It was it was being young. Your judgment was off. You wanted to kind of you're trying to see what works with your appearance and all that stuff, and you want to attract the ladies and do all these things. But I sold all but one. Like I had like 30 pair of J's and Nikes. Now I sold all those. I got all those off. I'm like, these gotta go. That's when our Charday was born. I'm like, I'm getting all these off. So I became more frugal with my spending. Um, as I got older, especially as a father, I became more thrifty. when I shop, like I wasn't really big on getting the latest and greatest, and far as what new sneaker was out. I was worried about comfortability. You know what I mean? Just some plain white this, plain black that, go with everything. Um, I shop less and less for myself. And so I began to kind of reform the way I use my money. That was pretty much the first things I did, aside from having side hustles. I wanted to
Yeah.
make money on the side, and that's always
Multiple streams
continued.
of income. Multiple streams
Right.
of income. Yeah.
And I'm chasing 7. I got about 4 or 5 right now. Um and
I
yeah,
think I just hit 7.
nice. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So that's where I'm trying to be. Um but yeah, man, just understanding what I'm doing, my money, setting budgets, setting limits. Um, like I said, learning about how I can protect my money, how can I invest, reading and learning about stocks and how to trade, and the values of a stocks, and just listen to all the lingo, and just being involved with it, speaking with other people that's at work, that's into it. We speak in the same language. You got to get around, like you said, those people that's thinking alike, that's thinking ahead, progressive thinkers, and they want to do better than where they are currently, their status right now.
Yeah.
So that all started to change, especially being in the Air Force. Um, I think I switched up, like a big switch up was probably around 2015, 2016. I think my whole life and just the way I thought, uh, my whole thinking process changed. So, but yeah, man, just put money in like high interest saving accounts, um, life insurance with cash value, you know, um, all kind of stuff, man, and just lowering my expenditures as far as what I needed. I live, well within my means now, like far less. I mean, I'm not like a miser where I just like crabbing like crawl like a rabbit hole and just don't do shit. And we living in the projects
Yeah.
or in a trailer just to, amass some type of wealth. But I see with clearer vision now what I want
Yeah.
my future to look like and the steps that I need to take in order for me to reach that. So, but yeah,
Absolutely.
man, like I know, like I said, we had plenty of conversation, and we got to continue that about assets and how to establish wealth and generational wealth, because it
Mhm.
basically starts with us right now. This is,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Because we didn't have any type of inheritance or, any type of an estate left for us. And if we did, even back in those days, most of that money would be gone.
Yeah,
So
because the
it,
person who leaves the estate is in heavy debt.
yeah, you know what I'm saying. So, and that's another thing. I just been ridding myself of debt, clearing all kind of space for that,
Yeah.
and putting money away for the kids, because I want them to either have a set amount when they're 18 to either go into a college institution, um, get a trade, start a business, like have those options. Yeah, I'm not pressing you to go to
Right.
school. You go get some education, but not may not be at a college institution right away, or you can do some online, and while you do your business on the side, it's gonna be some other available options. You know what I mean? Um, but yeah, so moving forth, what are we teaching our children about money? Where are we starting them? Is it when is too soon? Sooner the better. Where we at with that?
I think we all know our kids, man, and my kid's 5, 6. He just turned 6, and his attention span is of a 6-year-old. There's nothing special about his attention span, but in time, and he pays attention to money because he understands that if he saves his money, he can go to the grocery store and pick up some toys when we go to the grocery store. So he's aware of money now, that more so than he used to be. What I plan to teach my sons is, kind of the rule I've stuck with. And again, I didn't get it from a book or whatever, but I found it to be easy enough. If you start there, is that, every third dollar is an investment dollar, every second dollar is a saving dollar, and every first dollar is yours to spend how you want. And if you keep your expenditures low, you can actually live on 33%. You don't have to live on 7, like the richest man in Babylon outlines that, you never live on more than seven of 10 pennies, right? And so
Mm,
the first seven, you pay for your expenditures. Second two, you pay your debts with, and the last penny is always yours, right? And the more pennies you can give yourself first, pay yourself first, is the first thing. And I want to make sure I teach my sons that you always pay yourself, and you pay yourself investment funds, and you pay yourself savings funds, right? We normally just hear about savings, but I found that in investing, for every dollar that I save and saving for every dollar that I invest, my wealth is almost doubled in no time. Like, it's
mm,
insane how much money you can save and amass while one's growing at an exponential rate due to high interest investments, or high yield investments. And then the other one is just sitting in a bank ready for you to spend if you need to. And when you don't need it, you can dump that into the investment account too. If the market's good, you
yeah.
always have liquid assets. I'm gonna teach my sons to create a cash flowing asset to pay for any liability or any possession that they might want. Right.
Mm,
So for, like, I want to buy a new house. We want a lot of house too. In the Midwest, for $500,000 you can get a giant ass house,
mm-hmm.
and we want a $500,000 house. So, I have a plan to get that $500,000 house, right? But for my sons, as they grow older, I want them to have that, as an inheritance. But what I'll give them, instead of giving them cars at 16, I'm gonna give them business. You get a hot dog stand, you get a hot dog stand. Or you get a
Mm,
pizza stand, you get a burger stand. When my
mm,
sons are 16, they get in business. We're gonna jump them right into understanding how to create their own wealth. Right. That way, when they're 16, 17, they don't have to go to a job they don't like. They can hate their own business if they're smart enough, and I'll teach them how to delegate. They can find a little boy who need a job, and they can make the money while their
yeah.
classmates works for their pizza stand. Right. So,
Already.
like, I'm trying to start them off early with ownership, because ownership is a thing that culturally we have not gotten the grip of. Right. We see people and we like, oh man, they got it. Right. We look at Diddy, we look at all these basically retired rappers that have gone on to own great things, but you don't have to be a retired rapper or an ex-drug dealer to learn the art of ownership early and take advantage of it. Right. And so for me, I'm
Mm,
gonna teach my sons ownership. I'm gonna teach them investing. I'm gonna teach them, um, obviously what I learn, and whatever wisdom I amass in real estate. Really, I just want them to be able to live the lives that they want, and I need to teach them and explain to them that in order to have whatever it is they want in their life, they need to be financially free from someone else putting a ceiling on what they own. Right. If
mm,
you they if I teach you that you create your ceiling, and that you decide, well, for me to have the life I want, I need to make this much, then immediately your plan is to go do whatever it takes to get that much. Right now, if I give you the game of what type of businesses amass that type of wealth, what type of money moves amass that type of wealth, as a father, I've done my job. But if all I
mm.
give you is advice, and I can't give you no examples, and I can't show
Yeah.
you with examples, and you can't look around and see any sign or any signal that I know what the hell I'm talking about. If I don't have it first, then how would you ever believe me? The problem is, everybody
Yeah.
that I know was broke was trying to tell me what to do with my money. Well, how
Mm.
the hell would you know with your broke ass? You just asked me for $2. I'm
Mm.
6 and I just gave you $2. What you telling me for? What you talking for? Right? You don't get no respect for that. So, as a father, it's very important for me to become the thing, the picture of wealth that I need. That when I say something about money, my sons are like, well, he got the money.
Right.
Yeah.
Proof is in the pudding.
Yeah, the proof is in the pudding. You can't talk that money stuff and be riding around in no hoopty. You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
You got to have it in your pocket. You got to have it on your mind. And when they see that example, you
That's when it
become that
clicked.
idol. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why our sons are running around here dancing after these rappers and all these people, because they have something that they haven't witnessed from you, which is wealth, which is
Yeah.
financial freedom.
Yeah.
Um, and I need to be the picture of that. So as a father, that's my responsibility. But those are the concepts I'm gonna teach them.
Awesome. Hell yeah. I applaud that. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But you're right. Like you said, whatever they see that epitomizes success, whether it be negatively or not, you know what I mean? That's in the forefront of their mind. That's what they're going to see repeatedly. They're going to think that's the only way, or this, to be rich, you got to be in the entertainment industry, you know, you got to tell jokes, like just things that, that we see too much of. I believe we haven't uncovered the far as if you look at the wealthiest individuals on earth, they not hooping. You know what I mean? They
No,
not rapping. So we gotta explain, like I said, and expose them to what wealth really is. Clear examples of what wealth is. And like I said, first and foremost, we're the primary example of that. Like you said, we
absolutely.
can't just drop jewels and we're not directly linked to what we're preaching.
Mm,
So, like I said, we got to get that validity and make those steps and make those things happen now. Take those required steps. So, I've started Charday with learning the basic idea of what money is. Like we'll look at YouTube videos, uh, about the stages and origins of money
mm,
and how things were traded. Uh, Many centuries ago. So she's learning, okay, this is a tool to acquire, potentially assets or liabilities, that,
mm,
don't serve a purpose of, investment. So like I said, we breaking it down and simplifying it. So when she sees money, she said, hey, the first thing she looks at when she sees a dollar bill is like, okay, well, how can I get another dollar bill? She's not really worried about, okay, what can I spend this dollar bill on? You know what I mean? Like what's gonna attract another dollar bill? How can I, save for something bigger that's gonna help me down the road? So like I said, I don't want to give her too much right now, because like you said, the attention span, you working
right,
with about 10 seconds. Get your 10
right.
seconds in this. That's you cut off. Anything after that, they ain't got that.
Yeah.
So, um, but yeah, just starting with the tidbits, counting money, recognizing, going through the coins, just breaking it all down, simplifying it. Um, Go ahead.
You also have to tie it exactly. You also have to tie it directly to what they want,
Hmm.
right? So, whatever thing or dream your son or daughter might have for their life, or even as a 5 or 6 year old for their day, if you can tie the value of money management to the thing that they directly are seeking or desiring, they listen a little bit longer, right?
Hmm.
So, let's say today my son wants to be a fireman, right? Well, you understand, son, that a fireman might make this amount of money, but you don't want to be a fireman old and slow, right? So you don't want to
Hmm.
be a fireman. You need to retire at this age if you want to enjoy your years, because you can't run from fires as an old man. And sometimes we don't get to retire as early as we want to. So, this
Yeah.
is what you want to do with your money so that you can enjoy the years of fireman, and then you can back away and go back to the desk work or be a chief or something. Like
Hmm.
you always have to tie it to exactly what they want. Well, my son might want to be a musician. Well, you have to have financial independence to be a musician, because musicians don't always make money off of their art, right?
Hmm.
So you need to have these businesses on the side. You need to be a businessman who loves music, who does music full time, but it's because your businesses pay your life expenses. Oh,
Yeah.
you want to be a soccer player, but you're not really playing pro soccer. That's cool. You can join all the AAU or extra soccer leagues you want to play, as long as you running your business right. You want to
Hmm.
do karate is your passion, fighting, whatever, that's cool, but why don't you get your lifestyle over here, and that way it clears the way for you to do whatever you want with your life. I want my sons to have room to chase their dreams, but in order for them to chase their dreams, whatever those dreams are, they have to have money, they have to have financial education, and they have to have financial stability.
Yeah. Facts. Valuable. Valuable, man. So, but yeah, keeping that ball rolling, and every day, like I said, if you don't add to your palette of financial literacy every day, you losing.
Yeah.
Every day is a chance to add on to what you previously have been taught the day prior. So excellent, man. Thanks for sharing that, Kev. Like I said, we don't want to keep this episode too long. We'll probably continue this on a part two later down the road. But as always, continue this conversation. What are you teaching your kids? What are you showing your children? Think about that. Continue to do what you're doing, right now, and push the game forward. We appreciate all of our supporters, all of our audience for listening, for tuning in, for sharing, for being a part of the Fatherhood Village. We really appreciate you guys, and continue to rock with us. Continue to rock with us. Hey, it's your Fatherhood Village podcast host, Dale Holloway and Kev Hick. Peace and love.
Peace and love, baby.